Okay.
Okay. My name is Pat Gowens. I'm with the Welfare Warriors in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we're a 31-year-old mother's organization. I'm a mom, a grandma, raised 3 kids, a lot of the time on welfare, on and off. And so we've been fighting for the lives of mothers and children in poverty for 31 years. And the biggest issue has come to be the problem of the children being taken, trafficked, basically, from their poor families in the inner cities, from low-income moms who don't have any means of self-defense, legal self-defense, that is. And the way this is happening is the welfare system now, since the Clintons said that they would send block grant money out to the states, and the states could spend it as they wanted under certain categories, and then other categories that aren't even a category. So now only 25 out of 100 poor people in the United States get any cash support at all. 25 out of 100. So the other 75 poor moms and children get no money whatsoever. Now, in terms of how much cash they get, they've also reduced the grants over these years since 1996, and the grants are down to about $380 a month. So meanwhile, each state is literally getting millions of dollars. So what that's caused in terms of our community is tremendous poverty. We now have up to 11 million Americans living with no money whatsoever. No cash from any type of benefits, and no cash from any type of employment. So we have literally 11 million, this is the richest country on earth, with 11 million, mostly women and children with no income. That's because of all the welfare restrictions. Once they pass the welfare, besides not giving it to most people, is they're requiring it to be a work program, and everyone has to work off 30 hours off their grant, and there's also lifetime time limits. Each state, again, can do a lifetime time limit of 18 months. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's 2 years. And so obviously that's your lifetime time limit. So no matter what types of problems a mother runs into, whether it's sick children, whether it's a lost job, you're facing these lifetime time limits. So the 11 million moms, it went up before the Clintons in 1994, it was 500,000 who in the United States who had no income. And now it's 11 million, it just went skyrocketing. And it's still going up. This is an old figure, it's from 2015. So one of the things that the states do with their money is they transfer it into the child welfare program to take the children from the mothers, instead of providing this little tiny puny $400 check to keep you in your housing or to keep you having some basic safety net. So they're transferring the money, they're spending this money. There's only 6 states right now in the United States that are not using their money in order to spend it on child protective services. I want you all to take one of these flyers that explains in more detail what the states are doing. Besides child protective services, states are funding tuition for middle-class children in college. States are funding massive amounts of training for marriage. States are funding pre-kindergarten. They're using poverty money to fund all types of programs that have absolutely nothing to do with poverty. And some of them are using 1/3 of their money on getting women to get married. And this since 1997. So all this gives massive amounts of money to professionals. If you follow the money, it's poverty pimping, poverty profiteering, and the professionals are making all this money off of it. So and by the way, the statistics show no more women have gotten married due to all these billions of dollars being spent on the 2-parent training stuff. So what's happening in the CPS world, the Child Protective Service world, they have begun to take children, at any level. They'll start taking children at birth. And even all as far away as England, they're taking the children, and it's always poor women who have no self-defense, no legal self-defense. And so at birth, they'll take the children. Right now, New York City is doing a lawsuit because they're doing a class action lawsuit, finally suing Child Protective Services and all the agencies involved, because they're taking the children at birth from mothers because they say the moms have a low IQ. They're intellectually disabled. And of course that's not abuse or neglect, and there's no justification to take a child with no proof of abuse or neglect, because that's what the definition, it's supposed to be harm that the children suffered and risk that they suffer. Not someone's crystal ball says, well, you have a low IQ, we don't think you can be a proper mama. The other reasons, in Milwaukee, they're taking so many at birth, and the reasons are not low IQ, also mental illness. They'll say you're mentally ill, and therefore your child's not, da-da-da-da. And the newest one, which started less than 10 years ago, is now battered women are having their children taken both at birth and older ages, because they say that a man hitting a woman in front of a child is the mother's child abuse. Now, it's not the father's child abuse. They'll never charge him with child abuse or neglect. And they'll often even give the children to him. But the mother will be will have her children taken away. And these children then are, imagine, they lose the only person in their life that's their security, their love, their home. Then they're supposed to move into giving them to the family members by the all state laws, grandma, great-grandma, aunt, sister, cousin. Somehow they forget to give them to the family members. And because the family members, if I'm bad, it means my mama's bad or my grandma's bad. We've had families with 4 generations of grandmas, and they're refusing to give them to the families. But remember, so there's this huge money motivation now for adoption. So much of the money, it's going to adoption subsidies. So what happens when they take our child at birth, they put the child in an adoptive home, a foster adoptive home, and then the foster adopters can interfere with the whole court problem throughout the whole system. Now, I'm already running out of time, so I'm going to talk about some of the things we're doing to fight back. First of all, here in Houston, we were very inspired to meet a woman who's doing a lawsuit with the support of a few other women in this community. Her name is Attorney Mohammed, I believe. And she's suing, again, for the refusal to place with family. An aunt with all the resources and money and a car and everything else.
Kiana,
and yet,
you're talking about Kiana.
Kiana. Okay, so you know her. And so they separated the 2 children from each other, put one in foster care, finally after mountains of money and time of this aunt flying back and forth, they finally allowed one of the children to live with her aunt, and they're still keeping them separated. So this is another really important lawsuit. The one in New York and this one here in Houston, these are really important things. In Milwaukee, we're working on doing a lawsuit on behalf of all the battered women who are losing their children. And one of the things that we do there to reach out to the moms is we do flyers on bus stops, which are tremendously successful as outreach. Women will hold on to those flyers or even take a picture with a phone and save them until they finally come to the meeting or come to the protest. And we're doing a campaign to terminate the Children's Hospital CPS contract. That means our Children's Hospital has a contract to administer the Child Protective Service Agency in Milwaukee. They get $22 million. So every month we protest in front of any one of their clinics because we're going to put them out of business. If enough moms refuse to go there to any of their business clinics, they will give it up voluntarily. $22 million, this is per head per child they get, but it's nothing compared to their $1 billion budget. Another thing that we're doing, so we're aiming towards the lawsuit. We already have a lawyer lined up. We're doing court advocacy. We have a mom who used to be a visitation supervisor. She's joined us now. She's been getting trained on the job doing court advocacy, meaning everywhere those moms have to go, we go to court with them. We help them meet their conditions. This is if it's too late for them to get a jury trial to prove that they're innocent. And the courts are very dirty, the judges are dirty, the DAs are dirty, the guardian ad litems. I am not exaggerating. And by the way, the woman here in Houston, she's suing all of them, even the guardian ad litems. Another thing that we've done, right now when I go back, we're setting up billboards and bus stop billboards. So we're going to have billboards, bus stop signs, and we're going to have, the billboard's going to say, has CPS unjustly removed your child? Call Welfare Warriors, call this number. We also have one last thing. We have a Catholic Worker House donated a building for us to use, and we use the 2 flats to house as many moms as we can during that period of time that they're trying to get their children back and they don't have housing and they don't have any money to give housing and they don't have support. And so this way they both get housing and the support of the Catholic workers in the area. So I think that's it. But I just wanted you to know there is a lot of resistance and fighting back against this. Not enough though. You need to help us spread the word in all the different states that what they're doing is illegal child trafficking, and it's destroying the community. It's just a terrible, it tears the children apart, the families apart. It's disproportionately affecting black families across the United States.
All families.
And Native American families. It's really a terrible part of the war on the poor that we want to put